Michelle, girl.
Hi, honey.
I love this outfit. This is so cute. You've got shoulder pads. Is that Kiana, the fabric you're wearing? Remember Kiana?
Yes.
You're too young.
But no. But I don't know how to answer that, if it is. But here's the story about this dress.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have a problem with shopping.
Oh,
I'm just going to,
wait, what?
My name's Michelle Visage, and I'm a shopaholic.
Yes, I know that.
But the problem is with me, I just popped that pee hard.
You certainly did.
Did you get it over there?
Pee popping.
Bitch, I am a pee popper. I'm a shopaholic. And the thing is, when I go on eBay sometimes, people still go on eBay? I've been with eBay since 96, bitch. I'm a ride or die. You know how I roll. Sometimes I go to Etsy, but mostly eBay, right?
Yeah.
And what I do is I'll Google, I'll put in certain things. Mm-hmm. So I went on a vintage 80s thing recently. I was just in the mood for vintage 80s clothing. I started thinking about my old job at the merry-go-round store, and I found this dress, which is... It's 80s.
I love the shoulder pads are brilliant.
Like I was kind of looking for 70s disco, but I ended up with 80s disco.
Yeah.
And it's shoulder pads. It's got a crossover with the little, the
little applique thing.
Little applique with a ruching and it's so flattering.
It is.
And I was talking to my daughters about this, and you can back me up, and I don't know if we've touched on this before, and I think we have, but I was talking about how the 80s were so iconic fashion-wise. When we were in it, we really didn't think about it. Remember, people wore water bottles as an accessory, the Evian bottles, scrunchy socks, the Reebok high tops, Guess jeans.
The neon, the Dayglow stuff.
Everything was iconic.
And then those little hats, capri.
The ones that look like painter hats?
No, they were, and it had some Italian liqueur. I see a
Midori?
CIP.
Cipriani?
Yes.
Those two people would wear from A Street. There was a store called Pippo, I think, and they used to wear those big outfits. Everything was iconic from the 80s. And then the 90s had some, because it was on the tail end of 80s, it had its moments. And the TLC and all these groups came out. So it had some moments of, and then we started getting into the grunge movement, right? Nirvana came out. What was that, like?
That's
2000s?
No.
Late, or was it 90s?
94.
Okay, so mid-90s. And then the O's came. And in the O's, fashion stopped. And I don't think we've had a movement since then. Because you can't really call
That's what you call constipation.
And we need some laxatives.
Yes, yeah.
And my daughters were like, I wish it was, where we can look back and go, I wish it was the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. They're looking back going, I wish it was that. Like they have no inspiration.
Right.
But it's interesting how we lived through an iconic movement. But now all the clothes that I had that I wish I kept, I'm like rebuying for way more money.
Right. People who are listening to this right now, Michelle and I are in full drag right now.
Full drags.
I am in full-on drag.
I'm so proud of you.
We are on a break from taping the show right now.
Yes.
So that's why that's why I'm commenting on her dress. And also I want to bring up the fact that we have some special guests.
Yes.
Later in the show, we have Titus Burgess on the show.
He's
and
back
we
to
also
play.
have Shay Mitchell, who is from Pretty Little Liars.
Which is a show I was obsessed with.
She is a gorgeous gal.
Stunning. Like I want to hit her stunning.
Yeah, you should. You should.
Want me to?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
I dare you.
Okay.
Now, I've never been on eBay because I can't.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
This is the first time I'm hearing this.
I've never been on eBay because I
have known you for nearly 30 years.
Yeah. I've never been on eBay.
Why?
Because it took me years to even go into a vintage store because I just couldn't deal with all of the stuff. My brain couldn't assimilate all of the stuff.
So could you never do like a Goodwill or anything?
Oh, I would go into a Goodwill. No. I've looked in one before. I've never bought anything in there. What I end up doing,
overwhelming?
It's too overwhelming. In 2008, I would go into Crossroads here in Hollywood.
Still my favorite store here.
Because during the economic crash, people from the hills were taking all their clothes down to this one West Hollywood Crossroads
and selling them.
So I got a bunch of stuff there. But that's the only time I've ever bought. And of course, CDs, which is different. That's the only time I've bought secondhand things. But I used to buy CDs.
I was going to say, because you could I've seen you firsthand in music stores for hours.
Sure, yeah.
But I can do that with vintage stuff. And now my daughters are the same way. And I am like that specifically with vintage eyewear.
You just have to go through so much stuff.
You do, but the treasures that are waiting, it is literally, there's addiction comes in different forms.
Oh, hello. Who you think you're talking to?
Exactly. So I'll replace one addiction with another. And I know that's really unhealthy. I could stop at any time. I swear I could stop at any time. But the thrill, I would love to have some kind of like an EKG or something on my body when I find a deal, because I feel like I'm getting away with something that they don't know, and they don't know. Like, so I bought this pair of vintage Nina Ricci sunglasses that are blinged all the way around. I'm going to take them and be turned into prescription. But the point is, the lady was advertising. I saw that one person was selling them for $999, which they'll never, ever get, obviously. This woman was selling them for $60 or best offer. I offered $30. She took the offer. She sends them to me and says, oh my God, I see you live in California. This would be a great prop. Now I'm thinking, bitch, you don't know what you had. This ain't no prop. Yeah. This is vintage, hundreds of dollars. They were worth.
Really.
You cannot
and you don't
get
feel
them.
guilty about taking her to the
guilty? Guilty? Honey, it's not my fault. And she wants to get rid of them. So that's $30 a score for her.
Yeah.
$30 more than she had before. So it's worth it. I'll sit there at night for hours and look up all these names of vintage. I wear vintage clothing, and my daughters are into it too. So it ends up working out.
Yeah. Do they still have these companies that will you give your clothes to them and they'll sell them for you?
That's called a
eBay?
Consignment store. And if you do it on eBay, yes, those companies still exist where you give them, say, 10% of the cut, and they'll list them and sell them for you, and they'll take care of everything and they'll price them. I don't like that because I'm going to price them differently than somebody else would. But for somebody who has a mass of stuff and they don't give a shit, because it is time consuming, because I do sell as well. That's a good thing for you.
You were talking about having an EKG on your body when you find a deal, so that somehow there could be a meter to what I've seen that look in your eye. In fact, I saw it last week. We're filming out on location, and it's not. Are we on location? No, we don't tell them where we are.
Correct.
But we are in a place, right?
A remote place.
Yes. So I saw that look in your eye when you told me about that maple bacon last week.
Correct.
Was that this week or last week?
That was last week.
Okay.
I had that on my list to talk about.
Okay. Well, because it's funny, because you and I have spent a lot of time together, and I've seen that look on your face when you get around certain food items.
Oh yeah. Addiction.
And see what happened. I went to go say hi to you, and then all of a sudden I saw in the corner of my eye that we have a kitchen here.
Yes.
Right? Which I've never been to.
Yes.
So I went in there and said, oh, la, 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 la. Oh, look at what's that? Maple bacon? Yeah. And you came in.
No. You said, what's that? Bacon? I said, hold on a minute. That's not just bacon. That's maple bacon.
Which I'd never heard of before.
And you said, what?
Yeah.
And I said, what? You never had maple bacon?
Never had maple bacon before. And I was not going to have any either. I was not going to have any. Someone else walked in. Hector walked in with a plate. He was going to put some eggs and some stuff. And you had the thongs in your hand.
No, those were my fingernails.
And
no, you're right. The thongs.
The thongs in your hand. And you said, Hector.
Are they thongs? No, they're tongs.
Tongs.
Yeah.
Here, Hector.
Let me get it for you.
Let me get you some maple bacon. And when I saw
the look in my
the look in your eyes, I know that look on you. You don't need an EKG.
No.
I know that look when you become, because you didn't eat the maple bacon.
No, I can't eat it.
You can't eat the maple bacon.
Right.
But you had that look, and I said, uh-oh. This is something really special.
And was it?
So when I saw the look, I said, girl, here, give me a plate.
You did.
Give me a plate.
You did.
I have got to taste this.
And what did you do when you put it in your mouth?
Because let me just say,
okay,
if you guys could see the look in Michelle Visage's eyes when she had them tongs on that bacon, and when she put them onto Hector's plate, I knew this is something I have to have. I swear to you.
Tell me, was it?
Girl.
Tell me all about it.
Gave me everything I ever wanted in my whole entire life.
Now, I would never lie to you of all people. I don't lie anyway, but let me tell you something. When I was growing up, this is how it happened.
Okay.
This is how maple bacon happened.
Okay.
Now you can get it on maple donuts.
Yeah.
Now. After school. No, so in the morning, my mother, Arlene, rest in peace, would make breakfast every morning. Waffles, pancakes, bacon, the lot, every morning. And one day, my bacon crept into my pancake.
Ooh.
Maple syrup. And I was like, no. My mother's like, eat it because I'm not making you more. And I was like, ew, but it got on. I don't like my food touching.
Yeah, me. I don't like that either.
Right.
Yeah.
So I tasted it because I had no choice. And literally I was like, like, what? Like horns grew out of my head. And I looked at my mother and I was like, she literally was like, what's wrong? And I said, that is... I've never had anything so good in my life. Every day after school, every day after school, my hand to God, I would eat a pound of bacon with maple syrup. And when I would get punished, hand to God, Arlene's punishment was no bacon after school.
Ooh.
No maple bacon and no General Hospital. Those were 2 punishments.
Oh my goodness.
That's what maple bacon did to me. So much so that it was like an everyday.
Okay.
So that's where the addiction comes in.
That's the look I saw in your eye.
Had to stop myself. Yeah.
That's the
look. And
look.
it's connected to my mother.
Sure.
So all of it was it's a frenzy. You see the frenzy, right?
Listen, if I wasn't, your eyes were slightly crossed.
Yes,
Michelle.
yeah, for sure.
They were slightly.
It was like Manila Luzon.
Yeah, they were slightly crossed.
Yes, with her white eyeliner.
I knew that was something I needed to try. Let me just tell you. Okay, the bacon was crispy.
Sidebar: if it's not crispy, don't get it in front of me.
Don't get it.
My daughter likes it floppy. Who likes floppy bacon?
Floppy bacon?
I want the fucking
flaccid bacon?
No, who wants anything I want that shit to break.
It better break.
Break.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Electric Boogaloo breakdancing too.
I'm in it.
So it was salty and crispy. Then the maple was on it, and girl, it was sweet and savory and crispy. It was everything I ever wanted.
Tell them.
I have been talking about maple bacon since last week.
Now, how you make it is you don't put it in a frying pan. You put it on a baking sheet. You turn the oven up to 400 degrees.
Do you fry the bacon first?
No. You put it in floppy, raw, on a baking sheet, into the oven. 400 degrees, 18 minutes. When it's about, you can, no maple in the beginning.
No maple.
You let it cook 3/4 of the way through, 8 minutes. Then you go in and drizzle your maple syrup on and stick it back in until it gets crispy.
Oh my goodness.
Or you can just cook it and then dunk it.
Or dunk it.
Or you can throw some brown sugar on there when it's baked.
No, I like the way they did this at Craft Services here because it looked like they had crispied it up.
It was.
And then they put some maple. And then the maple wasn't runny. It was.
No, it was baked in.
It was baked in.
That's why you have to put it in a few minutes before it ends. 3, 4, 5 minutes even. So it'll cook in and crisp it in.
I had never heard of maple bacon before.
That really surprises me.
I'm not really a foodie.
No, but if you go into a donut, I know you like a donut now and then.
I certainly do.
You see the donut, the maple bars with bacon on them.
I've read about that. Yeah. I've never seen them, and I've never.
But now you get it.
I try to stay away from the donut places.
Amen.
Because it's just
it's a gluten disaster.
It's a gluten disaster, but not only that. But when I'm not a foodie, but when I do find something that is rocking my world, I tend to get that look in your eyes.
Get the Visage eyes.
Get the Visage eyes. And it turns me into a freak.
Yeah, but it made me so happy because what you experienced and I saw you experience. Yeah. It made me happy because that's what I feel when I used to eat maple bacon. It was love. It was the sabotage because you only had a little piece.
Yeah, I actually had 2 pieces.
Yeah, but they were little.
Well,
they weren't like.
Yeah, well, Theron brought me this week. He said he brought me a plate into the dressing room. He said, "Yeah, I thought you might want to have some of this."
First of all, he's a feeder.
He's a feeder, and he's an enabler,
and he's also an eater.
Yeah,
because he waits until the swine is done, and he takes the pita at the bottom of the basket that the fat was dripping into, and he makes a sandwich out of it.
I know,
and I call it a pork fat pita.
Oh. Yeah, because that's what they do with the maple. We have to go, but we're going to have our special guest coming up right after this break. But that's what they do with the maple bacon is they put pita bread underneath.
To soak up the fat.
Yeah. And Theron goes in there.
And then him goes in and eats it. So he can't do nothing enabling you.
Yes. All right, so we'll be right back with Titus Burgess and Shay Mitchell.
Titus Burgess Meredith.
Squarespace is the place to go where if you need your website made the way you want it done by yourself with no hassles, that's the place you go, is Squarespace. It is the easiest thing in the world, Michelle.
Yeah, Squarespace has been our friend for a long time.
Long time.
And we believe in Squarespace.
Yeah.
You can make a gorgeous website in minutes using their beautiful templates. They have lots of templates to choose from. And of course, their drag and drop platform.
Drag and drop.
Yes, bitch. Drag and drop platform. We love it. And so will you. You guys, you've been complaining about having to deal with all these webmasters and all these things. You don't have to deal with any of it. Not with Squarespace. When you're ready to purchase that plan, get 10% off with the offer code RU. That's squarespace.com, offer code RU.
You know, Beachbody On Demand is a fitness streaming service that gives you unlimited access to a wide variety of really, really great personal needs to get yourself into shape. I'm talking meal plans, different types of fitness. They got yoga on there. It's all there, Michelle.
They've got everything there. And let me tell you, I've spent hundreds on these programs. I'm going to just put that out there. I spent hundreds on P90X, Insanity, the Shaun T, the T25.
Oh, yeah, I love them.
All those things I spend hundreds on for those programs because you get the whole programs. But guess what? With Beachbody On Demand, it ain't hundreds.
You get them
all of them.
Yes.
For you at the same time. And they have things that you can use for nutrition and meal planning, meal prep, all those things. Because listen, at the end of the day, it's 2018. Everybody's resolution every year, even the people that are most in shape say, I want to get in better shape.
Yeah.
Beachbody On Demand is how you can do it, and it travels with you. So if you're always giving the excuse of, workouts are boring, or I don't have time to work out, not with this, honey.
That's right, baby. You do it when you want to do it. It's on demand.
You don't need to go to a gym. You don't need to schedule a class because you have the classes on your tablet, your smartphone, your web-enabled TV, your computer, whatever it is. Workouts range from cardio to weight training, yoga, low impact, even those Zumba dance ones.
I love that.
They're so fun. There's over 600 different workouts. I don't really love the dance ones. They're not my thing. My thing is like the P90X. I like to work hard.
Yeah.
I even love like the Vinyasa flow, the Ashtanga flow yoga, where you build up a sweat instead of just relaxing and doing poses. 600 different workouts on there. If you need help finding a workout style to match your interests and goals, you will find something on Beachbody On Demand. It's awesome. Give this service a try. You need to. It's going to change your life, your mind, your body. Right now, our listeners can get a free trial membership when you text RU to 303030. That's right. Grab your phone and text RU to 303030. You're going to get full access to this entire platform for free. All of the workouts, all of the nutrition, all of the information for free. Just text RU to 303030. It's Beachbody On Demand, and get your beach body now.
We are here with our special guest, Titus Burgess. You are back with us again.
Yes. You love us that much.
I do love you, bitches.
Yeah, now you and Michelle was talking about you directing her show. What was you going to call her show?
I'm still bleeding.
I'm still bleeding. Yes.
What's that a takeoff on? What show?
I'm still hurting from last 5 years. Jason Robert Brown wrote it.
Yeah. The last 5 years with Anna Kendrick. She was in a movie.
Yeah.
Did not do well at all. But Jason Robert Brown is a prolific Broadway writer. He's got many, many shows, and he wrote the music in that, which I happen to love the last 5 years.
It was my first Broadway show that I ever saw.
Shut up.
Yeah, and I didn't realize at the time that in New York, the conductors and the monitors. So I'm watching like half the show, and then like half the show watching Jason conduct the thing. So I didn't really see half of what was going on.
He conducted it too.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was really lovely.
So now, it was a movie starring Anna Kendrick.
Yes.
Called The First 5 Years.
No, the last 5 years.
Oh, the last 5 years.
The last 5. The first 5 is
that's a whole different story.
And Jeremy Jordan. Yes, from Glee. I mean, I know him from Glee. Yeah. He's same. Yeah.
So now you and Michelle together with this whole Broadway
Nothing like
thing.
you two, but
no, this whole Broadway thing. Listen, I came out, as people know, about a year ago as a theater queen, but I am I'm not at the level that you guys are with. Oh, so-and-so wrote. Oh, so-and-so starred in it. And this one and that one and that one.
I see this one and I can't help it. We jump into show mode.
Yeah. You know what it is? Here's what it is. If somebody sat down and wanted to talk to you about
pop music,
yes, or Diana Ross,
okay,
you can totally go to places where I sit there with eyes glazed over like Little Orphan Annie with no pupils. When somebody sits down to me, and I don't know an eighth of what, say, Bruce Vilanch knows, right?
Okay.
You sit down and talk to somebody who has the passion. Like, I have such a passion for musicals. It's all I listen to, as you know.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah.
So I know Titus is as well. There's other people in my life that are as well. So when I meet somebody that I connect with on that level, we get as excited as each other.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you listen to musicals, Michelle, on Sirius Radio?
I listen to Seth Rudetsky on Sirius.
Are there more than one
No.
radio? It's just the Seth Rudetsky.
It's just, he's the main person, but there's other good people on the channel. But
what
Christine
number
Petty,
is it? What channel
I don't know.
is
It changes all the time.
Oh, it
Last time it was like
changes?
Broadway 72, and I'm not sure if it's still.
Sinatra is 71.
See, I think it might be still 72 or 73.
Yeah.
It might have changed. I don't know. But I have all the cast recordings on my phone.
Right.
Like
yeah.
weird stuff. And I find more as I scroll and learn, especially like I'll Google Patty or Bernadette and I'll download shows like Women on the Verge.
of a Nervous Breakdown.
Yeah. Like these
Did
shows.
you see that?
No. But
I
I
saw
listened
it.
to them for songs that I could sing.
Very
and
good.
that's what happens. Like the Apple Tree and the other one we were talking about with Patty LuPone today that
Baker's
Baker's
Wife.
Wife
Yeah.
that
Baker's
nobody ever knows about or talks about.
Yeah.
Right.
And those are things I download to listen to.
So now, Titus, now obviously you know about all this stuff. At what point were you aware of all these shows? At what point were you able to have this conversation with Michelle Visage? How old were you? Like, at what point in your evolution were you like, oh, hey, I'm still here. Oh, for the last 5 years, the first 5 years, the second one.
Sure.
First and last.
I think I was 1 day old. Honey, I knew that shit when I popped out of my mama's cool.
Yes!
Oh my God. It's just my life.
Yeah.
And even like I even interpret information musically, not joking. Like if I'll be in traffic and I'll hear horns and then I'm like, oh my God, they're harmonized.
Oh my
You know what I
goodness,
mean? Like
yeah.
it's like the little things.
And so being a child, you're from Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
being a child, when was the first time you found your tribe? When was the first time you could have this conversation with other people? Because clearly people in Georgia, you're from Rome, Georgia?
From Athens, Georgia.
Athens, Georgia, don't have these kind of conversations.
No, they don't. I didn't really need to talk to anybody about it. I was just like, have my conversation with Liza on the screen. I'd be like,
Yes.
bitch, you're doing it. You're
Yeah.
doing it.
Uh-huh.
What good is sitting alone in your room? Life is a cabaret. But I guess I sort of, when I was in middle school, we started doing musicals. So that's kind of where I found my people. But even then, though, their knowledge of theater was so limited. So I was leading people at a very young age.
Yes, you were.
Now, the role you play on the
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable
Now, you're
Kimmy-
crossing a musical with
Yes.
a
Yes,
Unsinkable
Unsinkable
Molly
Molly Brown. Yes.
what the role you play is that character is a theater queen who lives and breathes theater. Was the role written for you?
It was written with me in mind, so I'm told. I don't really know the ins and outs of that story, but because I wasn't there when they were writing it. But she said that it was inspired by me. So,
Yes. Yeah, because you had done 30 Rock for several years before.
She being Tina Fey, yes.
Yes, Tina Fey. Yes, you had done 30 Rock for several years before, which I live for 30 Rock.
I know. I just read that there may be a revival. I don't know when the
heard-
hell they're going to do
I
that.
wonder if they're going to have a place for DeFuan on
Maybe
there.
you
On the
never
new
know.
30 Rock.
You never know. He needed his own show, but
It's
Yes,
so true.
he did.
It is so
Well, he's
true.
got it.
rich with characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now on Kimmy Schmidt, you guys are in the 4th season now.
We are going into the 4th season.
Going
to start filming
into the 4th season. What have you learned about yourself in the process of doing this character?
Can I rearrange your question?
Okay, yeah.
What I've learned about myself in the process of filming TV shows is that I need to be in charge. So I'm going to start pitching my own shows, and I'm going to start show running some shit.
Is this because you feel that there are things you would do with Kimmy Schmidt that you think should be done?
Nope.
No?
It's because of the wonderful information that I've learned, that I've gotten from the fantastic writers and crew members. I just have my own ideas that I'd like to execute, and I don't want to spend the rest of my life executing someone else's ideas.
Right. Now, without giving anything away or throwing it away into the universe, why don't you pitch Michelle and I some shows? You don't have to do your A list.
Okay.
Why don't you do your B list of shows that you want to pitch to us?
Okay.
We're two
Execs.
negative.
Network execs.
Think that was she said.
Okay. The first one is called Flawedcast.
Okay.
Flawed cast.
It's a take on podcasts.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about two people who don't do it very well.
Oh God.
Oh, we gotta sign that. because it sounds eerily familiar. We don't want somebody else to get that idea.
That's so stupid. I'm just kidding.
Oh my goodness. And so you come up with these ideas all the time. You do this television show. How much time in between shooting these seasons of Kimmy Schmidt do you have?
Question. With the streaming service model, you're not beholden to the network.
Sure, because you're on Netflix.
Yeah. So the time in between gets longer and longer and longer.
Really?
Well, last year, going into season 3, Ellie was pregnant, so then that delayed it.
Does she know who the father is?
I am.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
That explains it.
Let's go be some pretty babies.
Pretty, but I'm not giving her child support.
No.
She makes more money now.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Thank you. I mean, you guys, y'all are so
Yes,
supportive.
I understand. Fair enough.
Okay. So and then this year, Tina has Mean Girls, the musical that's coming into Broadway.
What? Is this the first anybody's hearing about this? Was this reported?
It was reported.
I saw the workshop.
You saw
How
the
is it?
workshop.
Y'all, this shit's so good.
Who wrote the songs? Who wrote the
Her
songs?
husband, Jeff, writes everything.
Jeff
Richmond is his name.
Oh, it's not Robert Carlock.
No, Robert Carlock is her writing partner. Right? Jeff is
her life partner,
her husband, and
her husband,
her man. And he writes all the music for 30 Rock and Mean Girl, and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh, so he wrote the book.
She wrote the book.
Oh, so he wrote that song at the beginning.
Unbreakable.
He wrote that.
Yeah.
What's his name? Jeff who?
Richmond.
Jeff Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
It's a miracle.
Yeah, and he is every bit as brilliant as she is.
No, come on.
No, seriously, dude.
No way.
No, Joe, that man is probably the smartest man I've ever met in my lifetime.
What?
Their kids are going to be
Now, you know I'm a man, right?
No. Don't tell me that.
What?
What the facade?
Zaddy.
So she was away doing Mean Girls, and the song you've seen the workshop, you've seen the hit songs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's a hit?
I know it's a hit.
Oh my!
So much I couldn't write a check fast enough to try and invest in that shit.
Oh, I'm so excited. Did you invest?
Did you invest?
Oh, I'm so excited to buy a ticket on Today Ticks.
Oh my, me too.
Yeah.
Today Ticks is going to have all that.
It's good.
I'm wondering, is there a role for you in there?
Oh no, I don't want to be in that. No.
Oh my goodness, that's going to be great.
The only role that he could be would be the Don Cheadle. Wasn't it Don Cheadle?
No, Tim Meadows.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Tim Meadows.
no, the role that I would want would be the mom.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Amy Poehler?
Amy Poehler.
Oh, yeah.
But y'all, it's so funny. The guy who plays Damien, he is fucking genius.
Wow.
I don't know can't call his name, but he's great. And the girl who plays Regina, it's so funny, and it has everything you want from the movie and all the things that you need for and from a Broadway.
One of the best movies ever written.
It's a great movie.
It's really great.
So tell me this. Now, you've experienced the process of someone conceiving a Broadway show, workshopping it, and then putting it on Broadway, and then it closing a few weeks later. But that's just a joke. So from beginning to, how long does that take?
It depends.
Because you're working on yours.
Yes. We're doing our first 29-hour reading of The Preacher's Wife.
20 who writing reading?
It's called a 29-hour equity reading.
Yeah.
It's where you've written the show, and it's now in such a place where you need to hear it out loud versus just sitting down and reading it to see if the book is any good, if the music's good, if the actors are good, see what you gotta change. But depending on who the producer is, depending on what that budget is like, depending on if there's a theater available, depending on if you're gonna fire one of the leads. I mean, there's so many variables that causes the timeline to be movable.
Sure.
By the 29-hour reading, do the principals know this music already, or would you, the composer, sit there and sing it?
Well, you have the creative team, and the music director would be in charge of that. But no, they don't come in knowing the music. You learn the music in like a day and a half, day or two. Then you read the book, and then
and no blocking. You just do it.
You literally
it's like a table read.
It's kind of like a table read, but with an audience.
Yeah. Where does the term 29-hour reading
Because you
come?
literally have 29 hours under the equity guideline to turn this around. To turn them,
and so at the end of the 29 hours, what happens?
You do a presentation for the producers and potential investors. Yeah.
And you either sell it or you don't.
You either sell it or you don't.
Got it.
Right.
You go,
so you're in the process of doing that right now. You don't have to tell us the title.
We did The Preacher's Wife.
Oh, it's The Preacher's Wife from the movie. The Bishop's Wife.
Correct.
The Preacher's Wife, the Whitney Houston movie, was based on a Loretta Young film called The Bishop's Wife.
That's
and they changed it to The The Preacher's Wife.
Yes.
And you're doing the musical version of it. So who did you have to buy the rights from? RKO Pictures? Or?
No, it was, took me a long time to figure this out. It was part Disney and part Samuel Goldwyn. Because I don't want to call this out of pocket. I think Touchstone Pictures was a subsidiary of Disney or Buena Vista, something like that. Which I think is no longer, but the rights reverted back to Disney or whatever. So it's a co-rights thing. So I have to pay two different people and two different entities.
So are you just producing this, or is there a role for you, or are you the preacher's wife?
No. I'm taking on a wholly different what's the word? Role. As composer and lyricist. I'm not gonna be in it.
Wow.
Yeah. I aspire to give other people jobs.
Well, not only that, but that's talk about longevity in this business. You know, people don't really understand that, you know, when you're in front of the camera on stage, usually that's kind of a shorter span of time you get to be a star in a thing. In your dream world, who would play the lead character? Who would play the preacher's wife?
Sure. Well,
Anuki Nani Rose. Is that how you say her name?
Anika Nani. That's
Anuki.
She's busy. I wrote this role with Lettucey in mind.
Really?
I did.
But does she act, Lettucey?
We'll find out.
Okay.
She can sing.
She can
sing.
But she's at least doing the first reading.
Okay.
And Loretta Devine, who was in the movie.
Oh, yes.
Is playing Marguerite, the mom.
And
she's just a hoot. It's hysterical. And she sounds fucking amazing. It's,
wow.
You know, it's
what about the angel? Who would play the angel?
I'm looking. I have a wish list.
Which is the Denzel Washington role.
Yeah. Denzel.
She said Denzel.
You know what kind of people I'm from. I'm not from Rome, Georgia, or Athens, Georgia, but I did come from Georgia at one point.
You did.
Through Athens.
I have. I used to
stay
through
Rome.
Yeah.
There's a guy by the name of Labyrinth. He's a pop singer out of the UK.
Labyrinth.
This man
sounds like a ninja warrior.
He's so fantastic, and I cannot seem to get in touch with his people, or he just maybe doesn't want to do a musical, but he's perfect for the role. And the rest of the wish list, I should probably not say because
you don't want to jinx it. Yeah.
But you know, we'll have auditions. You know, there's the stage version will be replete with magic and Dudley flies and does all these magical things and stuff. So we'll see. Yeah, it's gonna be lovely.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
I can't wait to see it.
How much of your time do you spend in Los Angeles, and how much time do you spend in New York?
Well, this last year it's been about 40% of the year out here and 60% in New York, working on various things, kind of finally learned the lay of the land, finally know kind of where I am because I've been Airbnb-ing all over the city.
Oh, wow. That'll do it, too.
It'll do it. Honey.
Yeah. Do you drive?
I do drive, but I refuse to drive out here.
Okay.
Not when you got Uber and Lyft.
Sure, exactly.
Somebody take me. I'm not going to.
Right.
Now, before we go to break, I read a piece in the New York Times about you. You wrote for talking about your mother and being a parenting your mother. Can you tell me the synopsis of that story?
Sure. It's a monthly column, I think, that they have called "The First Time I," and then you sort of finish it. And mine was the first time I became a parent, or I can't remember what I titled it, but it was basically following my mother's journey as she moved through various stages of grief where my grandmother's passing was concerned, and how ultimately to get her or to lure her out of her depression and to get her to seek help, I had to play hardball and threaten, her with things that she would need or want from me, which largely was my time. And, I basically said, I will not come and see you until you do this, this, and this, and this, because what's going to happen is I'm going to get there and the grief will perhaps subside momentarily because I'm there to take your mind off of it or to give you my shoulder or whatever. But the moment I'm gone, it'll perhaps be even more profound than when I came. Right. And I said, I'm not professional. You can talk to me about this, but you need someone who can be objective and who can talk you through what these stages are, so you have the tools to grapple with it, because when someone else passes that is very close to you, he's going to compound and compound and compound and compound, because you've never properly dealt with someone who was perhaps the closest thing to you outside of me.
Yeah. And so, and how did you get these tools? Where'd you learn to do this? Because obviously, if you don't, you could have very easily pushed her into a deeper hole by doing this, a deeper depression. But where did you learn that this was the technique she needed?
Because that's how that doll raised me. Mm-hmm. When I threw a tantrum or whatever, it was removing things. It was removing concepts. It was the removing of allowance. It was some form of taking that the threat of not having something that was important to me. I'm an only child, so
it's like a punishment.
It's like a punishment, and it was. My mother was a single parent for most of my life, and I watched her. I don't know how I knew enough to process what she was doing to me when she was parenting, but it worked, and it was just the first instinct that I had, that I thought, this is the only thing I had to think of the most extreme thing to do to her that would ambush her into moving forward.
Yeah. No. How long did she grieve? Because obviously everybody.
My grandmother just. The anniversary was August 7th this week, and my mom called me, and I remember I looked at the phone, and I had this. This is gonna sound crazy, but I can tell by how the phone rings. Mm-hmm. Okay,
it's her.
That is her.
Yeah,
and I don't mean that I have a ringtone.
No.
Yeah,
you are connected to her.
Yeah,
obviously, you trust your intuition.
Yeah, and I picked up, or I was upstairs, and I was like, oh, I don't have the energy to talk, but something was like, Titus, go answer the phone. I answered the phone, and from the first syllable of hello, I knew that there was something. I was like, no, okay, what could have happened? And my granddad is about to pass away. He's been in a home. They gave him any day now, but it's 6 months later, so I don't know if he's ever gonna leave Earth. And that's whatever. So I was like, well, that's not what it is. And she's like, I just needed to hear your voice and to talk to you, whatever. And I was like, what's wrong? Because my mom is also not the best at expressing herself. She's not, being vulnerable is not her strong suit. So she goes, well, today's the 7th. Your grandmother's been gone, I think it's about 14 years now. And it is still as fresh for me as it is for, yes. That woman, I don't know what spell she has over me, but it in her. And we have a very large family. She had 8. My grandma had 9 children, but 8 inside my granddad's marriage with her.
Yes.
And my mom is the baby. And I spent a great deal of time with my grandparents when I was younger. And my mom and my granddad have a rocky relationship.
Yeah. And that is her father.
That is her father. My granddad and I have a great relationship. Mm-hmm. It makes it so weird.
Yeah, because then you have to be the mediator.
Yeah. And now that my grandmother is gone, there was no one to parent my mom. Mm-hmm. So being an only child, your role stretches out.
Sure.
And you become many things. You become more than just the child.
Yeah. Well, actually, if you go into my Twitter feed, you'll find the story that Titus is talking about. It's very poignant and very helpful to people who may be going through the same thing. Well, Titus, our time with you is up. I'm so I wish we could talk forever with you, but thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And you're always a joy. The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt,
Unsinkable Molly Brown.
Yes, on Netflix right now. We're going to keep an eye out for The Preacher's Wife on Broadway.
Yes.
All right, darling. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Talkspace time. Now, I love the concept of therapy. I love something magical happens when you are able to express yourself with another person. And not only just having them hear it, but you're hearing yourself say it out loud.
Cathartic.
Yes.
And the thing is about therapy, I think a lot of people think, I don't know this person, I'm not going to be able to open up. But the thing about Talkspace is it's kind of genius. When you meet somebody face to face and you figure out if you jive with them, when you're about to, use them as your therapist the whole time, sometimes when you see that they're face to face, you feel like, I'm not gonna be able to do this. The genius behind Talkspace is it's an online therapy company, so you don't have to see them face to face. If you want to, you could do the video messaging with them, but it lets you message a licensed therapist from anywhere at any time. All you need is a computer with an internet connection or the Talkspace mobile app, and that means you can improve your mental health even if you had trouble making time for it in the past. And if you're nervous or whatever, and this is your first foray into therapy, this is a great place to start.
It's brilliant. It's one of the perks of the 21st century, the fact that you get to have that connection with someone who understands what you're going through, someone who can help you guide your life. We all need that. Yeah. I can tell you, in my life, I've been on the planet for a long time. Therapy has been one of the greatest tools I've ever used.
Well, Ru, with Talkspace, therapy is as easy as sending your therapist a message. I know that I talk to my daughter's therapist and stuff like that. It's never quite as easy as it will be with Talkspace, You can get something off your chest whenever you want to, talk about everyday challenges at work, at home, just chat about life. No extra commutes, no leaving the office, no judgments. That's their job, to be there for you on your phone or your computer.
Always available.
Always available. The Talkspace platform has over 2,000 licensed therapists who are experienced in addressing life challenges we all face. So to match with a perfect therapist for a fraction of the price of traditional therapy, go to Talkspace.com/Ru. Use the offer code RU to get $30 off your first month. It's Talkspace.com, offer code RU.
All right, we've got our other special guest here, Shay Mitchell. Hi, Shay.
Hello.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Toronto, Canada.
Oh, did you say the second T?
Canada, Toronto.
Oh, you said the second T.
No, but I did say Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Toronto.
We get called out when we say Toronto.
Yeah.
I
Now,
know.
Pretty
Very
Little
American.
Liars, do they shoot in Vancouver?
No, we shoot here at Warner Brothers.
Oh my
We
gosh.
shot here.
Yes,
shot
of course.
here.
The
It's
show
over.
is
Yes.
over. How many seasons did it run?
7.
7 seasons.
Yeah.
Were you on from beginning to end?
I was. First episode to the last one.
Wow.
And I will say this, because I told her I was an avid fan for the first 3 seasons. Then I started touring, and you can't watch as much, but it's all on Netflix.
It is.
right now.
Yeah.
I highly encourage everybody to watch it. But when it first started, the whole show is about who is A.
Right.
There's a murderer amongst them, and the person's name is A, and trying to figure out who it is, because it harkens back to Allison before she died. Blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
Anyway, long story short, me and all my friends, or my friends and I, correct English,
thank you, yes.
would text each other, and we'd sign every single text with A.
Hey.
I love that. I love that. I still get a couple of those texts.
Yeah, we can't help it.
Can't help
But
it.
it's iconic.
It is. I mean, just to be on air for 7. I mean, hello.
Yeah.
Season
Yeah.
10 here.
Yeah.
But 7 years. It's crazy.
I know, you're a young kid too, and this is the thing. You realize if you're in this business long enough, 7 years is a long run.
It is a long run. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But
How long
we
have
had
you
such a good time.
been acting in show business?
Honestly, about like 10, 11 years. I was doing a little bit of it when I was in Toronto.
Yeah.
But before that, I was just traveling and doing a little modeling.
Filipino and
Irish.
Irish.
Scottish, Irish, Filipino.
And mom's Filipino.
That's
Yes.
a great mixture.
Yeah.
Toronto is that kind of a town where there are such a mixture of people
Melting
there.
pot.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a melting pot with some of the best food.
Yes, exactly. Now, do you have an American passport? Are you?
I
How
have a
does that
Canadian
work?
passport,
Yeah.
but I do have a green card.
Okay.
Yes, I'm legal.
gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, I love living in LA.
Well, Trump can't send you back, which is
I
great.
can't get sent.
But you live in LA.
I do. I live in LA now.
And so, were you able to do other projects while you were still doing Pretty Little Liars?
Not as much because we were shooting, every single day. But I was able to do a YouTube channel, which I
Yes.
started. So that's something that
How
I'm
do
really
people
focused on.
find it?
YouTube.com/Shay Mitchell.
How do you spell your Shay?
SHAY.
SHAY.
Yeah. Not
Like Slay.
Like Slay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shay.
Is that a stage name, Shay Mitchell?
It is. My stage name would probably be like Shea Butter
Shay Bada.
or Gay Mitchell. Do you know what I mean?
That
Yeah.
would be your
Gay
drag
Mitchell.
name.
That would be my
darling.
drag
Yeah.
name.
But is
Stage name-
Shay Mitchell your legal name?
No, it's Shannon. Irish.
Oh, good.
Shannon and Sean. My brother's name is Sean.
But your real last name is
Mitchell.
Mitchell? Did anybody ever say, oh, girl, you know what? You should probably use a different name so that you don't have to get people knowing what you'll be?
Right. A little bit, but I actually did it so I could stay in the room for a couple extra seconds, because they're always like, oh, Shay, what an original name. And then I'd be like, well, it's actually not my real name. My dad's Irish, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then I was in the room for 2 extra seconds.
And you
So
for
auditioning,
for
that helped.
auditioning.
Exactly.
You know, it's so funny. I wish everybody could learn how to. Did you learn how to audition, or did you
No.
learn the hard way?
I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I realized it was a real quick experience.
But starting in Toronto.
Starting in Toronto, yeah. And then a little in Vancouver.
What tips for auditioning could you tell people? Because, when I've cast before and looked at lots of tapes, and usually people are very basic. They do the exact same thing. They do the thing in their audition that they think the producers want. They're not authentic.
Right. Yeah.
And what tips can you give people for auditioning?
You have to go with your gut instinct. However I read a line for the first time is how I'm going to read it in the audition, because that's truly how I feel. When you read it over 100 times, you start to question yourself and all of that. I'd also say never take no for an answer. I had an acting coach tell me I was pretty, so I should just sit shotgun in some guy's Ferrari back in the day. And I was like, okay, I'll remember that. You just put a fire into my ass and I'll buy my own Ferrari. Thank you very
Right.
much.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So never take no for an answer and never let anybody tell you anything else.
Yeah. Now tell me about the movie Cadaver.
Yes, Cadaver.
Who do you play in it?
I play a recovering addict who's also a cop.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. Yeah. So she takes on a job at a morgue to kind of, stay away from the club. And while she's there, a couple things happen.
Right.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
It's a scary
Yeah.
movie.
Cadaver.
I'm thinking somebody dies.
Yeah.
There could be a
Call me
dead body.
crazy.
I'm not going to lie. There could be a dead body.
And
You guys
also,
are getting the scoop.
on Pretty Little Liars, and I could be wrong because it's many years ago. I mean, we're talking 8 years ago now since season 1.
Yeah.
You got to be a little girl on
I
girl
did.
action. You
I
were a
kissed
swimmer?
a girl and
Oh,
I liked
you're
it.
Was that your sport?
I was a swimmer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Emily was a
score!
competitive swimmer, the team
Yeah.
captain.
Yes.
And she
had
also
a little
loved the
girl.
ladies.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
wow.
did.
I had a lot of girlfriends on that show.
And did you slip her the tongue?
A couple times. I was like, ooh, that lip gloss tastes great.
Do you ask when you kiss on screen? Do you ask the director? Do you ask the actor? Who do you talk
You
to?
ask the actor. That's a polite thing to do, but I like awkward moments sometimes. So
You just surprise
know
them
what
with
I
a
mean?
tongue?
Yeah, just a little. But no, you would ask the actor.
Yeah.
That's the professional thing to do.
Okay.
And did you guys discuss it before? You said, okay, I'm going to cock my head this way. And then.
You do have to plan it, yes. And I'm like, my left side's my better side, so
Yeah.
please, go by that.
Sure.
And we worked it out. I found my light, and that's the angle I would go at.
Had you kissed a girl before that ever before?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
I may be a pretty little liar, but I'll tell you the truth, okay? Maybe once or twice.
I mean, it's normal these days.
It's normal.
Is it
Come
normal
on.
these
That's what the
days?
kids do.
I
Even
love
like
it.
it's the tail end of my generation.
Yeah.
Girls were starting to. Most of the girls were doing it for the wrong reasons.
You're
they were doing
experimenting.
it. Yeah, and
You
you're
know what I mean?
enticing the men in too. It was,
Sure, but I feel like, like I say, you fall in love with a soul. At least I do.
Amen.
So that's kind of how I looked at it.
Beautiful.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
Now, so is it the show Pretty Little Liars that brought you to America?
it is. I actually put myself on tape when I was in Toronto. Toronto. See
Yes.
that?
Uh-huh.
So I put myself on tape, and then they flew me out here. So I came on coach ticket.
Wow.
When I booked the show, flew back business. It was my first time.
Hey.
Lovely
Did
experience.
you come with a parent?
No, I came by myself. Wow. I was living in Toronto at the time by myself. So they flew me out here, and I auditioned for everybody. And then
How many times did you audition?
3 times.
3 times.
Nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
For the studio, for the network.
And they
Oh,
did a chemistry test with the girls
yes.
at some point?
Yeah.
The
we
third
had
time.
We had our table read, and it was at Warner Brothers, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Why do you think the show was such a success? What was it about it? How did it speak to the audience?
Honestly, I think it was all about relationships, friendships, romantic relationships with parents. And I mean, I was so proud to play Emily because I really do think it kind of opened up the conversation for girls and guys to have with their parents and their friends about their sexuality. You know what I mean? So I was a really, really a huge fan of Emily even before I landed the part.
And Emily was kind of almost not made fun of for it, but she was embarrassed about her friends finding out that
Right.
she liked girls.
Right.
So it was an important storyline because I think it was something that rung true for a lot of girls that don't want their friends to know that they're into girls and boys, etc.
Eventually, did everyone find out?
They do find out. Yeah, she did come out, and it was amazing because I'd meet the fans one year. The next year, they'd come up to me and they'd be like, "This is my girlfriend," and I was like, "Awesome!"
Aww.
So that was just so great to not only be on an entertaining show, but one that actually had an impact on some people.
Right.
So.
Who else is in Cadaver? Who plays the Cadaver?
Cadaver.
Michelle Visage.
I can't tell you. Yeah. There are a couple amazing people that are on it. I'm super excited for this movie. I shot it right after PLL ended. I went from the rap party to the plane, and we shot it in Boston.
Wow.
Oh my
So
goodness.
it was kind of amazing, to go from that experience to another one.
And if you weren't doing, we're going to go to break in a minute, but if you weren't doing show business, what would you be doing? And is this your end game? Are you going to stay in the business forever?
I am. I'm going to do what I love. If I wasn't in the entertainment business, I would be probably a National Geographic photographer, journalist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love traveling. I love going to far out places.
And taking pictures.
And taking photos, yeah.
What's your favorite? My favorite 4 cities are Vancouver, Rio, Sydney, and San Francisco.
Okay, amazing. I would have to say Italy. That's where I want to end up.
What part?
I
Florence
haven't been to
is really
Tuscany.
great.
I haven't
Florence
been
is
to Florence
stunning.
either, but I
Tuscany's
love the
amazing.
Amalfi Coast.
Yes.
I just recently got back from Mykonos, so that was amazing. Mykonos, Santorini. I haven't been to, but I'd love to, is Iceland. That to me looks spectacular. And then I think to round it off, maybe Turkey.
Ooh.
Reykjavik is amazing, and
Reykjavik,
it's
yes.
very gay.
Yes.
Is
So
it?
yeah, it is, and that's
Okay.
where the Blue Lagoons are located.
Right.
So you can go and do
Get those Instagram
Did you
photos.
say Poo Lagoon?
I said Blue Lagoon, but I meant Blue Lagoon.
Oh,
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
See, Santorini is
Amazing.
beautiful. The problem is there aren't really beaches there.
No. You go with somebody you love and you shack up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you have a nice view to wake up to, but that's about it.
A lot of
Yeah,
walking.
A lot of walking. Mykonos is party till the sun comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Shay Mitchell, the best of luck to you in
Thank
your
you.
career. I can't wait to see what you do next. Can't wait to see Cadaver. When do you think that'll be out?
Summer.
This next
2018.
summer.
Yeah, summer
Yay.
2018.
All right, rigor mortis in the house.
Yeah. And of course, Pretty Little Liars on Netflix.
Yes, exactly.
All right, Shay Mitchell, thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
joining
much.
us.
I'm such a big fan. So
Oh.
thank you for having me on the show. Bucket list, check.
Yay.
Thanks, kiddo.
Thank you.
Hey, sis, Squarespace has...
Hey, yo, sis.
They have revolutionized the whole website game. Everybody needs a website. It's like a business card that you don't have to carry around with you all the time.
I can't tell you how offended I get when people don't, offended not in the dramatic word, but
Right.
if I'm on Yelp, let's say,
Yeah.
and I click through to see the website, which
Yeah.
I always do,
Sure.
and they don't have a website,
Like, what is this?
what kind of business is
These
this?
are not caveman days.
No, I want a website, bitch. Don't take that from me. And that's what Squarespace is all about. They make websites, and making a website with them has never been easier.
It is the easiest thing you can do. Listen, just go there and you'll find what you're looking for. You'll find the template that you like.
Yes.
You'll find everything that expresses who you are. In fact, a lot of our listeners will make their websites through Squarespace. In fact, we get a lot of emails from people at RuPaulPodcast@gmail.com telling us how wonderful the experience is, how easy it is. In fact, you have a letter there, Michelle, right?
I do. Hi, Michelle and Rue. My name is MC Crumb Snatcher, a.k.a. the filthiest gay rapper alive.
Oh, my goodness.
Good Lord. A few years ago, I put out my first album entitled, nope, not going to say it.
No, can't
but I
say
will
that.
say you can find that on his website, just because I'm a lady.
Yes.
And I'll say some stuff, but this is a little rough.
Yeah.
Squarespace was the easiest thing ever. My new website took zero assistance, literally a matter of hours to build the entire thing. It looks a million times better than my last one, has its own web store, which I never thought I'd be able to do alone, and links to my book, links to my stream, my music, updated info with upcoming shows. The best part is that I'm no longer afraid to update it. I'm actually excited about it. Thank you so much for pounding it into my thick skull until I could finally take your good advice. Now I'm on to my next endeavor, putting the finishing touches on my audiobook version of my memoir, Crummy, so I can make it available on Audible. I love that.
How funny.
Yeah, so go check it out, mccrumbsnatcher.com, and I hope you love it as much as I do. XO Crummy.
Yeah, no, that's a perfect example of why you need to go to Squarespace to make your website. Not only if you're an artist, but if you're a business person, if you are self-employed, this is the best way for you to get yourself out there and for people to find you.
Yeah, get a free trial with no credit card required just by going to squarespace.com. And when you're blown away like we are and you're ready to confirm that plan, which we know you will be, use the offer code RU to get your 10% off. You'll be getting a fantastic deal and helping to keep What's the Tea free. So thanks again to our friends at Squarespace. They've been there for day one. Keep sending your websites to RuPaulPodcast@gmail.com, Squarespace.com, offer code RU.
Okay, so Michelle, you had some procedure on your neck.
I had a procedure
because I did Botox on the stringy bits in my neck.
They call that the Nefertiti.
Oh, really?
It's called the Nefertiti. Nefertiti. Nefertiti.
Some black queen.
Some black queen.
Yeah.
They shoot the Botox into the
stringy bits. Yeah.
Stringy bits. I did that once and I couldn't, I felt struggling to swallow a little bit.
No, you're lying.
I swear to God, I couldn't do it. And she said she didn't even put in a lot because you need a lot for that area because those stringy bits are so strong.
I love it. I haven't done it in a while, but I loved it.
Well, here's the thing. I have hated my neck and bottom of my face area for a very long time because for me, my hands are great. They don't show any sign of aging. The top of my face is the tightest thing ever. I don't even get Botox in my eye area. I've been lucky that way. But down towards the chin and the neck, I'm going to be 50 this year. Okay, I'll just say it.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing things are changing.
Yeah.
So this great Dr. Caritas, Mr. Caritas in London, in St. John's Wood.
Caritas.
Do you know, he's Greek.
Greek, yeah.
Do you know that they're surgeons? I said, why are you not doctor? You worked hard for that. He said, oh, no. Doctors are underneath the misters in the UK. If you're a surgeon, you're a mister. And if you're a doctor and you're not a surgeon, you're a doctor.
Huh, okay.
So
that's
isn't
very
that weird?
confusing.
I know. So Mr. Caritas,
who operates on people,
is a plastic surgeon, said you don't need a facelift. And I was like, I beg to differ because I'd like one. But you and I had talked about this. Once you're lifted as an actor or performer, you're no longer that girl.
Oh, okay. But I'm just going to put a side note.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you later about a very well-known comic actress who I just noticed has had a facelift.
Who got
I
snatched?
don't want to say her name on tape, but I'm going to make you know who I'm talking about. She's probably 42.
Young.
Yes. And yeah. Okay. So, but continue your story, and then I'm going to somehow.
I was trying to read your eyes.
You want me to mouth it? Because I don't want to because it's rotten of us. Because we should
snatched a little bit, or
she's done a mid facelift.
Mid.
Yeah. And I noticed in movies, she's in several movies recently.
Okay.
Where I go, girl.
Really?
Girl. But you know what? The fact that we talk about this with women, we don't talk about how Mitch McConnell looks like a fucking turtle with that jowly neck. And, men don't.
Because it's okay for them.
It's okay for them.
Yeah.
Men don't get that same.
I don't think it's fair that there's a taboo on it. That's why I'm talking about it.
Right.
So I had two surgeons both tell me it's not time for a lower facelift yet because it would have to be lower face and neck, like Madonna did.
No, that's a full face. That's a full facelift. When you get neck and lower face and up in the ear.
I wouldn't do up here.
You wouldn't do above the eyes. You would do to the ear.
It's literally lower face and neck.
Yeah.
So that's how it goes. So they're saying no. So I tried this thing called alt therapy. And it's ultrasound, alt therapy, but it goes way deep below the surface.
Okay.
But Mr. Carita said to me, if you're looking for a pulling thing, you're not going to get it.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep you realistic. But it's great for people who are just starting to show and want a little bit of tightness.
What does it do?
So it goes under the skin layer and it like tears it apart to make it re-heal. And when it goes to heal, and I'm probably saying this all wrong, it releases the collagen. Yeah. And then it tightens up.
So you're saying you graduated from collagen?
I've graduated from collagen. I did the alt therapy. I don't do painkillers. I definitely felt it. It's not the worst. It hurts, but it's not like, oh my God, I can't tolerate it.
And it's like a laser on top of your skin.
But it's not laser. It's ultrasound. So the surface of your skin doesn't get affected.
Did you get to see the baby? Did you see the heartbeat?
I did not get to see the baby. I didn't get to see the heartbeat.
Yeah.
Good to know that I am not pregnant.
In your face.
Which is good in my face. My face is not pregnant. I wish I could see stuff, but the only downside is you don't really see the full effect till like 120 days after.
So you were filming over there. At what point did you do this procedure?
0 downtime. The filming was over. And when it was over in Ireland, I went to England. And in England, in London, is where I got
Who
the
told you
treatment.
about this guy?
My friend, he did her boobs, and her boobs are amazing.
Her boobs.
Yeah. And she said, she
saline
went to him,
or silicone?
Silicone. That's the only way to go.
They don't do saline anymore?
No, most people don't. Most
Yeah.
people don't. So, you
How
go
much
in.
was it?
Well, I got a nice little girlfriend discount.
Yeah.
But it could be anywhere from, I think, $2,000 to $5,000, depending on what you have done.
Yeah.
Because there are different levels of what you need. If you need all of the face,
Did
or
you
just
notice
the
a
neck.
difference?
I have to wait 90 to 120 days.
Oh, you just did this last week?
Just did it 2
Okay.
weeks ago.
Right.
So you get a little sore after and a little pink. That's it. It goes away at the end of the day.
Right.
The soreness stayed with me for, a good 5 days. But I'm saying this because I want to take the taboo off of it. I don't think the big deal. I'm excited to see what it does.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see that when we film RuPaul's Drag Race season 11, that I'm a little tighter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that is like, Mr. Caritas was saying, if you take these steps now,
Right.
you can put it off for quite a few years. And the technician who did it, she said that some people come every year for a top up,
Yeah.
a touch up. So, and she said,
A top up.
a top up. When I come back in March, she said, if you want to do a little bit more, we can do a little bit more. So I might just do a little bit more.
Do they ever do anything in the bathing suit region?
No, but you can do, I bet.
Yeah.
You mean as far as tightening goes?
Well, yeah, like maybe lift the butt up a little bit.
I bet you could.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
so many lasers and so many things that you can do without having surgery. And then, of course, there's fat transfers and all that if you want to do that.
I would love to have a facelift. Although I was in traffic the other day and looked over and saw a man in a Bentley, and even through the tinted windows, I could see botched. It didn't look good. And he looked like a wax figurine.
That's when it starts to get creepy. Mostly when men do it, even more so than women. But I remember going
because men don't wear makeup,
No.
which helps,
And the hair doesn't hide it.
Yeah.
Because now, surgeons put
this incision
your ear.
in the ear.
And behind it.
See, but this thing is, but like I said, brown skin keloids, and that is why it's
scared.
it's not a good idea for brown skin.
Yeah,
unless you can go to somebody who actually knows how to.
You don't need it though.
Oh, I do.
You really don't.
Need a
I can use a
facelift.
little tug, but
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna wait it out and do the alt therapy and keep doing things. I don't mess around with fillers. Maybe eventually I'll start looking like I have Maria Shriver cheekbones. But
Yeah. But until then, ponytails.
Until then, ponytails and alt therapy. But I'll tell you this. I had a thought in my head, not where it went. But I know what it was. Reebok, the gym I used to go to in New York City when I was on the radio there, and I lived on the Upper West Side. And I remember one day going there, and Regis Philbin was there. Oh, they're coming to take me away.
Uh-oh, here they come.
And Regis had literally had like those gauze Band-Aids in front of his scars.
Yeah.
He did not give a shit. And it was probably his second or third facelift.
Well, you remember when Michael Douglas would appear out and he had bandages on? He
They
didn't
don't care.
He don't care.
I love that. I want to take control of that, because if I want to have a facelift or do anything, plump my lips, if I want to do that, why
But you
can't
understand
we do it?
why the stigma is there, because in our puritanical culture, the concept of vanity is a sin.
Taboo.
It's
Yeah.
taboo, and it's considered too egotistical.
It is
and,
a sin, isn't it?
Yeah, well, vanity is, I
Yeah.
guess. But
But not Vanity 6.
not Vanity 6.
Right.
But given the current climate politically and how people have torn down all of the taboos of aggrandizement and of, being a braggart.
Yeah.
And you know who we're talking
Yeah.
about. You think, well, then why haven't all these other taboos in that area sort of fallen away?
I think everything should fall away, because I think that people need to worry about themselves and nothing else.
Well, that's why that's why I don't want to say this woman's name out loud, because I don't want to out someone.
But you're not outing her. She had it. She's going out in public.
Yeah, but
Who is it?
okay,
I'll say it.
But no, don't say it.
Okay.
Don't say it, Michelle. Please promise me you're not going to say it.
I'll
'Cause
promise
I'm going to
you.
mouth it to you.
Okay, I promise.
But I'll give the audience at home a few clues.
Okay.
I will name a few of her movies.
I mean,
is that a way to do it?
Yeah, you're just
Well,
giving
there's
it
lots
out.
of women who are in the movie
Okay.
with her.
Okay. There are?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to be that. I don't want to out anybody.
If I had a facelift, I will talk about it on the podcast.
But that's
I
you.
will let the true. I would let
you.
the world know, and I'd be like, "Look how good I look."
Yeah.
And I would be like,
well, the thing is, I've said this many times, and this is general rule, is that High Voltage said, this is a woman we know in New York,
our trainer,
she said, a woman gets her first mid-face lift
in the 40s,
right at the ear at 36.
Okay, no, that's
36.
Not realistic. You know how much shit Courtney Love got for doing that?
She got it at 36?
She had it young because Tanya Tucker told her to do it.
Well, Tanya Tucker, remember Tanya Tucker? She had hers at 36.
And that was too young.
You think so?
Yes, it's too young. I think when you start to approach early 40s, yes.
I think probably 45 is
bit.
maybe the time to do it. I think that's when Cher may have done her first one, maybe.
I'm sure Susan Lucci and all the one, Deirdre Hall, all those soap opera queens, they just do a little bit at a time and they don't go full snatch.
Right.
And when they don't go full snatch, you can't tell. You just go, ooh, somebody had a vacation.
Yeah. Well, I'll just tell you this, that the woman I'm talking about, don't say her name, Michelle.
You have my word.
Is a funny lady. She has been on that late night
television show,
skit comedy show.
Right.
And she... Yes.
Really?
Yes. We should see her in the latest movies. Latest movies.
Okay.
She's in look at my mouth.
Yes.
And she's also in what was the other one? I just saw her. She's in 2 movies. I saw her in the same night in 2 movies.
She's so good. She's so talented.
I can't remember the other one. She was in 2 movies, and I said, "Oh my God, girl, she's been snatched."
Really?
Yep. But mid facelift, which for the people at home, this is right in
like
front
in
of
the eye
ear.
and cheekbone area.
Yeah, right in front of your ear.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But that's very smart.
Are you looking at a picture of her now?
Well, I'm trying to see, and it's not really telling.
I'm trying to think. What's the other movie that's out that she's in? Are you looking at the list? Don't say it out loud.
I am not gonna.
Okay. Are you looking at the list of the latest movies?
I'm gonna go movies right now.
Yeah.
Because I was looking faceless.
But I think it's fierce, and it's not that extreme. Okay, for someone like me with X-ray eyes who is obsessed with plastic surgery, I can tell. But I don't think anyone else would tell.
Should I name some?
No, just name the ones that came out in the latter part of 2017. Okay, just Mal. Okay, I just named you that one.
Yeah.
What's the other one? Yes, exactly. Yes.
This does really well for audio, for audio dramas.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you see a picture of her in there?
Well, I'm looking at it's not really telling me much. Because... Well, it's just not.
Yeah.
But now...
But when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait to tell Michelle.
Oh my God, I never would have thought about that.
Yeah. I mean, she's, and she's...
But it makes
40,
sense because...
Yeah. She's like, I think she's 42, maybe? 42, does it say? Born in 74, 75?
She's 44.
44, yeah.
Born in 73.
Yeah, no, and that's the time you're supposed to have your first mid-facelift.
Yeah, I never, didn't have the money, and I didn't subscribe to that because, and you have to know where to go and who to do it right.
Yeah.
Because it can go so wrong.
Well, you ask around. Like when I went to see Dr., what's his name?
Sizemore?
No, the guy who I did that TV show with.
Housewife's
husband.
God, Housewife's
I don't know why.
husband?
Yeah.
Dubrow.
Yeah, Dr. Dubrow.
Yeah.
When I was in the operating room, when he was giving this woman a facelift and he's talking to me, I'm standing right next to him.
Yep.
He's cutting. He's saying, well, right here is where you do this and you do that. It was so beautiful. That man is an artiste.
So you would go to him?
I would definitely go to him. I was there. I saw it.
I met with a friend of mine who's had a facelift that I didn't even know had a facelift.
Wait, you're not going to say the name?
No.
You're not going to say the name?
No.
But are you going to tell me in silence?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want me to do it now?
Yes.
But she's a friend.
I know, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going to. Who? Wait a minute.
I'm going to type it.
Yeah, type it in because I can't. I'm getting the first name, but I can't.
No, it's only one name.
I can't.
Anyway, she took me to.
Yeah. Yeah. I got it. Yeah, I got it. Yes.
She took me to her doctor. She had it at like 46, 45.
I didn't know she was that old.
No, she's my age. She's 49.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. We're just giving away all these.
No, usually they have to be Jessica Fletcher's to get
Jessica
it.
Felcher. I have a lot of friends that are my age, so that's good.
Yeah.
Who are in this business.
Yeah.
And she took me to her doctor. And the doctor said, "It's this is what we can do. Work really well for you. Be very subtle. $25,000." And I was like, yeah. 25,000. I thought maybe 15.
That's in TJ, I think.
Because it's not a full shebang. It's literally down here. I didn't think it would be the same as a full. And he goes, "Well, you can go upstairs to who's the one that does
Dr. Benny Boomba,
the big doctor that's been doing it for 100 years." And he goes, he gets 150,000 for a facelift. I said, what? I said, what?
Say what now, Charles?
Sphinx says, what? $150,000. You know the one I'm talking about.
Oh, he's that older guy who is on
the doctor that's been around forever.
He's on the Doctors. He's that doctor who's on.
If you said his name, I would know.
Is it Fisher? Dr. Fisher?
No, he's great.
Yeah.
He's the one I'd go to for breast reconstruction. He just did Amber Rose's breast reduction. Dr. Garth Fisher. He's amazing.
Oh yeah, right. She had a breast reduction.
She did, because those titties are real.
Yeah. Huh. Well, listen, that's enough plastic surgery.
We can
I
talk
could go
about it
forever, ever and ever. But we've got to go now. Hey, until next time.
Okay.
Good. Yeah.
I want to keep talking.
I know. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes.
If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Amen.